challenge. Could you explain why? Why did you not want to do that?
I really have no problem fighting 3-minute rounds. I could do 15 threes if they wanted, but I guess my concern was fighting 12 3-minute rounds and a 10 2-minute paycheck. I don't think that would have been very, very smart from either end. I think a couple of years back we had the fight scheduled, and the reason you pulled out was because of the pay. So we shouldn't sell ourselves short in the biggest fight of our career. We can do 15 3-minute rounds if the money's right. I really have no issue at all doing 3-minute rounds. Yeah.
Are you okay with that response?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I thought this was the biggest payday. I mean, on paper, it's for women. It's on contract is the biggest payday, and I thought it was. I mean, just I guess maybe the rematch.
Yeah, maybe we can definitely renegotiate after.
Y'all hear this shit? It's Katie's fault. Oh, Katie, I didn't want to hear it. So, for a fight of this magnitude, and from what Amanda Serrano just said, is that they're making like career high money. Like the biggest paychecks in women's boxing history. This fight is on the way to a sellout, from my understanding, in Madison Square Garden. About 18,000 or so tickets plus being sold. It's in the big room, ladies and gentlemen. They've been getting the fight week on a Today Show, all around New York. Like some real big media stuff has been going on with this fight. What is being dubbed as the Mayweather-Pacquiao of women's boxing. The biggest fight in women's boxing history. And it's getting that push from DAZN and from Matchroom. Phenomenal undercard. Jessie Vargas versus Liam Smith. That right there will be blood. Franchon Dezurn taking on Elin Cederroos. Its own main event and headline its own card. Rashad Matty, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Up-and-coming prospect. Austin Ammo Williams. Who else is on the card? I'm going to pull it up. By the way, take your time out, like the video, subscribe, and T-Street Controversy with Fight View 360. My chat is supposed to be in that big empty space over there. I don't know what's going on with it. But the press conference for Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, undisputed, of course, WBC, WBA. There it is, IBF, WBO Ring Magazine Championship. It will be this Saturday on DAZN. The card starts at, I believe, the main card starts at, I believe, at 7 p.m. Because from my understanding, let me pull up DAZN real quick. Because from my understanding, the two cards are not going to overlap. Basically, the main event, let's go check real quick. By the way, take your time out, like the video, subscribe. Schedule. Saturday. They don't have it listed. Oh, wait, they don't have it listed yet. Why is it not? Oh, I'm tripping. Too far down. Saturday. The main card starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So the main event is supposed to be ending by the time the second fight on the Top Rank on ESPN broadcast starts. Basically, we'll be able to watch Taylor Serrano and Valdez Stevenson uninterrupted. We'll be able to watch both cards. From DAZN starts early 7:30, and then at 10 p.m., Top Ranks card, I believe it's 10 p.m. Could check real quick, but I don't feel like it. Fuck it, let's go check. Boxing info, wait a minute, where we at? Let's go check real quick, get the times right. It starts at 10 p.m. So Taylor Serrano, East Coast time, starts at 7:30 p.m. This main card starts at 10 p.m. All right, so we set. Let's go look at the undercard. Already, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 fights of pretty much note right here. Dezurn, Cederroos, as you can see, all that gold on the line, including the ring. Katie Taylor Serrano, the main event. All that gold on the line, including the ring. Jessie Vargas versus Liam Smith, a fight that's been 2 years in the making. Then you got Galal Yafai, Rashad Matty. Isn't he the Albanian bear? And there he is, Albanian Bear. Sky Nicholson. Top tier card for the zone. Top tier card. But also remember you have next week Canelo versus Bivol, and that's going to be uninterrupted, meaning that we'll be able to watch that. There's no other cards competing with that next week. Isn't it like time going a little bit like fast? You got Canelo Bivol next week. That's next week. It's here. That's fight week next week. And then the week after, you got Charlo versus Castaño 2 with Boots Ennis versus Castillo Clayton. And I forgot who opens up the card. The press conference for Katie Taylor versus Serrano from New York is going to be starting in 10 minutes. Shout out to my colleague, Donnell, who's actually credentialed to be at the fight. So we're going to be getting some exclusive content from Fight Night. I'm not going, but Fight View 360, we are in the building. We've been getting back out the fights, and we got a lot more that we're going to be getting back out to coming up in the future. Let's go look at the boxing schedule real quick. Brush up on what's going on. This is from Dan Rayfield's Fight Freaks Unite. Here, I'll put the link in the chat for you. Best boxing schedule on the web, and he updates it daily in accordance. So the Valdez Stevenson card, Keyshawn Davis versus Esteban Sanchez. By the way, I got some content to put out on them later on today. I was on a media Zoom call with them earlier in the week, so I got that content. Nico Ali Walsh, this poor kid gets so much shit from the media and fans, but it is kind of top ranked fault though, because they really been forcing him on us. Like, it's like, bro, we get it. He Muhammad Ali grandson, we get it. Y'all don't gotta be fucking smacking us in the face with it. Like, we get it. Shit. So pretty much this is a showcase card. Because it's not on pay-per-view, the real money is in the main event. This is the main event, you know. So the Katie Taylor Serrano card, you know, is going to be over by the time Keyshawn Davis is in the ring. So that's what's up. How would you rate this Katie Taylor Serrano card? Personally, me, I'm giving this joint an A, because you got 2 undisputed fights. You got 3 fights that can be its own event. Of course, Katie Taylor Serrano, Jessie Vargas versus Liam Smith can be its own event. You know, maybe a smallish type of event. It would do well over in the UK, but overall, it can be its own event. And then Franchon Dezurn versus Elin Cederroos. This has been a undisputed 168-pound fight that's been coming for a really, really long time. And it's going to be a really fun fight. I mean, after all, I hope it's not, you know, I hope I don't get canceled. But basically, Franchon Dezurn went life and death with a juiced up LGBTQ. Like, bro. You know? Like, so basically, it's kind of like fighting a man. If you really want to be honest. Come on. Have y'all ever seen Alejandra Jimenez? Like, I'm not lying. You know? I'm not just making this shit up. Here, I'll show you. Watch, I'll show you. You think I'm joking? For those who didn't see it, how her sew-in got all knocked off. It was snatched out of her head. It was crazy. And funny enough, I was ringside at Jessie Hart versus Joe Smith, and Joe Smith was putting a whooping on Jessie Hart. And watching the fight with Clarissa Shields. No bullshit. That's why I interviewed Clarissa Shields that night. And she was like, why would she wear that to a fight? You shut up. But yeah, this is you know, this is like, bro, like, this is who, you know, this is who Franchon Dezurn fought. Like, you know, and she held her own, to be honest. Like, they was throwing, like, I'm talking about, these punches was flying, bro. And I was like, oh, like, it was ugly. Let me tell you. It was ugly. So now you got this undisputed fight with Cederroos. Cederroos, in her last fight, she's been on for a while. She beat Alicia Napoleon on the Showtime fight. Y'all probably remember it if you really think about it. What card was this? It was a televised fight because Napoleon was the one that was supposed to. Boots Ennis was on this card. It was Shields versus Hobson. Here you go. There you go. So as I was saying, overall, you know, pretty solid card. Pretty solid card. But yo, for the newcomers who are just getting here, let me tell you something. Did you wonder why this fight is not 3-minute rounds? Did you wonder why this fight is not 3-minute rounds? Let's listen to Katie Taylor.
12 3-minute rounds and a 10 2-minute.
Let's listen. I love me some Katie Taylor, but this hurt me right here. This was hurtful to hear this. Listen to this.
In London, somewhat out of the blue, she threw down the challenge of making this, 3-minute rounds, and you weren't so into that challenge. Could you explain why? Why did you not want to do that?
I really have no problem fighting 3-minute rounds. I could do 15 trees of 50 if they wanted, but I guess my concern was fighting 12 3-minute rounds and a 10 2-minute paycheck. I don't think that would have been very, very smart from either end. I think a couple of years back we had the fight scheduled, and the reason you pulled out was because of the pay. So we shouldn't sell ourselves short in the biggest fight of our career. We can do 15 3-minute rounds if the money's right. I really have no issue at all doing 3-minute rounds. Yeah.
Are you okay with that response?
I thought this was the biggest payday. On paper, this is for women. It's on contract is the biggest payday. And I thought it was, I guess maybe the rematch.
Yeah, maybe we can definitely renegotiate after Saturday night.
I like this businesswoman, Katie. It doesn't get talked about enough.
This is the business. We're in the business. We're in the herb business, but it is business.
I think the WBC belt wouldn't have been on the line if it was a 12 3-minute round fight as well, and it would have made this fight less important. The undisputed title is on the line on Saturday night as well, and that to me is absolutely everything. Having all the belts on the line. Having the opportunity to bring all the belts home as well, that is absolutely huge. So why make the fight less important?
Would you like at some point?
So listen, let me break it down to you. Katie Taylor basically said it's not 3-minute rounds because of money. But then Serrano pulled the card pretty much saying like, well, wait a minute. This is supposed to be the biggest purse for any women's, boxing event ever. Like, that's fucked up. And then she says the WBC, the WBC belt would have possibly not been on the line. And, like, that all sounds like bullshit to me, man. I think, and you got to think, Katie is the A-side, and maybe, because she has slowed down later on in fights, just because they're women, you can't, not think that they be using that political bullshit, too. So I'm thinking that, on her side, she's like, nah, you know what, I might gas out. Or her team was like, listen, let's not make this 3-minute rounds, because you have a history and we got to keep it real. You might slow down and, this girl can go all night. So all that bullshit about, man, this should have been at least 10 3-minute rounds, at least. And they want to talk about equal pay and all this shit. Like, bro, this event is doing very good. 17,000 or so plus tickets sold and counting. For a women's boxing event in the big room in Madison Square Garden when the city's opening back up, no mandates. This is doing good, and if you watch women's boxings, those 2-minute rounds blow by quick. So fuck that. Like, I like Katie Taylor, but let's keep it real. They want to fight like men. They want equal rights like men. So we got to treat them like men when it comes to media. Respectfully. Still ladies. T-Street love the ladies. But I'm saying it's like, that's a bullshit answer. Like this, if y'all calling this the biggest fight in history and all that shit, they stole that from Clarissa Shields. And now it's like, nah, we ain't fighting 3-minute rounds because it ain't 3-minute money. But then, Serrano's like, this is supposed to be the biggest person in motherfucking women's boxing history. Doesn't make any sense. Let's hold over to the press conference. That doesn't, I ain't gonna lie, my piss is a little bit boiling. For that, By the way, once again, we're gonna be there in Madison Square Garden. Fight View 360 is on their way to New York. We're gonna be at the weigh-in and at there during fight night, so we're gonna have some exclusive content. Me, of course, my black ass ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be right in the house, covering my video, doing my videos from the comfort of my man cave. And besides, you guys can come hang out. So I had to basically rebuild my PC. I've been saying that I wasn't going to stream. I've been saying that I was going to stream during events, but my PC when I was trying to stream and watch a live event. So I had to replace some shit in my computer, a fan, PCU, thermal cooling, all kind of nerd shit that you don't give a fuck about. So I think I'm pretty safe now to stream a live boxing event, because I didn't want to be streaming a live boxing event like Ugas versus Spence, and then my computer just starts smoking and blow up, and then before you know it, the whole night is fucked, you know? But anyway, let me stop cussing. It is early. How you guys doing? How you guys making out? Let's head over to the live from New York. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano Undisputed press conference. And they are starting now. Soon. Wait for them to start. So yeah, I'm going to be here on Fight Night, covering the event. Yeah, they're about to start. Yeah, I had to upgrade my, I had a bullshit 500 watt in this joint. You know, I got too much going on to have a 500 watt, so I had to get a, what is that? I think I got 850 now, 850, 750. So even the startup, everything's so much faster now. So now I can go full 1080p. See, look, I can go full 1080p now, no shutdown. You know, we can go full 1080p, baby. Let's turn it up. Listen in. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe.
Well, the time has reached the point where we are not counting the days to history. It is down to hours as the world gets ready for the top 2 pound-for-pound fighters in women's boxing.
Yes, I am a sativa man. I don't like being stuck. I can't do that. Ooh, they got the silver fox. That's Claudia Trejos. Shut up when the queen is speaking.
Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City, but we're not going to be here for long. Saturday night.
That's bad auntie right there.
We're going upstairs to the big room to witness history.
Absolutely, a historical moment for the ladies. For the first time, they will be headlining a boxing event at the Mecca of boxing.
Yeah, plenty of action on the undercard as well, and we are about to get ready to meet the boxers that will be starring on Saturday night's show exclusively.
Yeah, I'd be too busy. I can't do indicas, bro.
Turn it down to Matchroom Chairman Eddie.
I don't know. I don't like being stuck. I can't do it. All right, we're starting. We'll talk after the press conference.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and what a turnout. A lot of people were asking me, I didn't realise you were letting fans in today. No, just the world media. How exciting is this? Madison Square Garden this Saturday will be sold out by the time Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano enter the ring for not just the biggest female fight of all time, but one of the biggest fights in boxing history. This place is so special, and although we have a very special main event live on DAZN on Saturday night, we wanted to put an undercard together that could stand alone in its own right in this fabulous arena. And with so much great talent up here on this table, we have a little bit of everything for you on this historic night of boxing at the weekend at Madison Square Garden. Of course, we have a fantastic co-main event. Again, an event that was supposed to headline one of our US shows earlier this year. Former world champion Liam Smith will take on former 2-division world champion Jessie Vargas in a tremendous fight. The undisputed women's super middleweight championship of the world. Cruz Dezurn against Cederroos in another thrilling fight. The Olympic gold medalist Galal Yafai, who in his second fight defends his WBC international title against Miguel Cartagena. We've got Cordell Booker against Amo Williams. We've got Reshat Mati. We've got Australia's Sky Nicholson, who is the first Australian female to ever box at this historic venue. Khalil Coe. And so much great talent. Checking I haven't missed anyone down there. No, we're good. Ready for a huge night on Saturday. We're going to hear from everyone now. Reshat, I'm going to start from you, the Albanian Bear. Your own hometown. You've boxed here before, of course. Big step up for you at the weekend and a massive show right on your doorstep.
Yeah, you know, obviously I fought a couple of times in the Hulu Theater, never fought in the actual stadium. You know, this is where the Knicks played, this is where Muhammad Ali fought. You know, a lot of plays, you know, a lot of fights. So I'm looking to put on a great show, you know, and, you know, have all my Albanian fans out there, you know. They bought them online. You'll have 200-300 there guaranteed. So I'm looking to go put on a good show.
A good step up for you at the weekend, of course, and time to start doing that. You've boxed all over the world, of course. on DAZN, but great to be back in New York and ready to start getting into title contest 2022.
Absolutely. That's the plan, you know. Bring up the more weights, you know, bring up the belts, you know, I'm ready to go.
Well, another fantastic young American prospect in Khalil Coe. Khalil, welcome. Madison Square Garden. We know your story. I'm sure a few years ago you didn't believe you would be here, but you are. Big step up again for you as one of America's top prospects and a great platform to do it.
Most definitely. You know, this stage is going to be amazing, you know. So close to home, all of my family, people I grew up with will be able to come out and support me and just put on a hell of a show.
Look forward to seeing you in action. One fight I cannot wait for on Saturday, and a lot of people in boxing have been talking about Ammo Williams against Cordell Booker. Cordell Booker, a long-time blue-chip prospect with the PBC. Ammo Williams, one of our most important young talents, tremendous power puncher, tremendous athlete, and takes a huge step up at Madison Square Garden.
And he finally got himself a PBC fighter. He was proud to say that.
I've been looking for this opportunity for a long time. Keith Connolly, I know your manager, has been plaguing me for a big fight like this. A lot of people talking about this fight. It's going to be a great one at this historic venue.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. We've been waiting for a fight, so that's why we moved up to 160, because we're ready to fight anybody, make my dreams come true, and that's what's going to happen on Saturday.
You have got a huge amount of experience over Ammo Williams. He's a fantastic prospect, you know, has looked devastating with both hands, but you do have the edge in terms of experience in this fight. Looking to use that against Ammo Williams, and I'm sure you respect this young man's talent.
Yeah, I respect him. I respect everybody who come into the ring, but it's my time. I put in way too much work. My experience is above his, just like you said, and that's what I'm looking to do.
Ammo, this is a big fight for you, big step up. You've been calling for this for a long, long time. New training camp, new setup. We saw you, great fight last time on the Devin Haney card in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. Now you're at Madison Square Garden. Life's good for Ammo Williams, but this is where it gets real for you at the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. This is my first title shot at 11, going 11-0, and I'm very thankful for Cordell Booker, because it's a lot of fighters who don't put their undefeated record on the line, especially somebody who has more fights and you know, more experience. So for me, getting somebody who's supposed to be better, who's supposed to have been around for a long time and all that, that pulls a different beast out of me. I know he says he's put a lot of work like that, but there's no way he's worked how I worked. There's no way he's even come close to the things that I sacrificed for the sport. And on Saturday night, y'all are going to see that.
You see a lot of great prospects take this big step up, and it's so exciting when, you know, you've had your learning experiences around the world, and now we can get to see you in a real fight. But what makes you believe you're ready for this step up on Saturday?
What makes me know that I'm ready for this step up on Saturday is it's a lot more that goes into fighting than just the fight. This is my second time in the big stage, in the garden, in the big room. This is my second time. I fought right before Katie Taylor on Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because that was like you were just thrown into this fight at Madison Square Garden last time. You stopped the guy in the first round, I think, end of the first round, but you also, you know, it was a lively performance. You were very overexcited in that fight, but I guess great grounding for Saturday night.
Exactly. When I go into this next fight and I make my ring walk and I see the cameras and the Megatron and the crowd and this beautiful venue that I'm in, it won't take me out of the moment, not even a slight amount. Cordell doesn't have that experience. I mean,
Megatron?
They talk about experience, but
He's talking about that Jake Paul robot?
Quatavious Cash, who was a great fighter, a good fighter. Then I also have Dennis Douglas on my resume. So it's not like I'm coming into this fight with no experience. And I'm gonna show that it's a lot of levels to Ammo Williams that I haven't had to pull out yet. He's a very skilled fighter, and I can fight a different style and show y'all guys another side of Ammo Williams.
Well, 10-0 against 17-0. It's a tremendous fight. 3 female fights on this card on Saturday night. Sky Nicholson, probably the most active female fighter right now in boxing. Obviously the first Australian female to ever fight in this historic venue. Looking forward to your third fight in, 9-10 weeks. It's been a roller coaster, but this is a huge moment for you.
Yeah, I feel very grateful to be here and to be on such a historic event, and I can't wait. I think I heard yesterday it'll be my third fight in 57 days or 59 days or something, so very active, and yeah, I'm excited to show what we've been working on in the gym.
I know that you've got lots of photos of Katie Taylor and you growing up, I think, as probably as young as, I don't know, the first one that you had, but obviously a big inspiration to you. And as a female fighter, so much in front of you, but great to see such a historic card in a huge venue and paves the way for female fighters like yourself to realise it's possible to create big moments like this.
Definitely. Katie and Amanda have been trailblazers for women's boxing, and they've paved the way for my generation, and I hope that I can pave the way for the next generation.
And finally, your first fight in San Diego was against an undefeated fighter from San Diego. Great performance there. Your second fight, you weren't overly happy because it was against more of a journeywoman opponent. You want to fight these
Eddie's hairpiece looks good.
Fighters that are coming to win, and you expect that at a weekend.
He had a bad one during COVID.
Will be here to try and take this opportunity.
Definitely. I've got a lot of respect for my opponent. I think she's a great fighter, and she's going to come to fight, and she's going to come to win, and I'm excited. I want to be in a real fight, and that's when you're going to see the best me. I've said that from the start.
Well, look forward to seeing you at Madison Square Garden on Saturday with the eyes of Australia also watching. When we talk about great young fighters, we recently signed a young man in Galal Yafai, who I believe is a future star of the sport of boxing. Olympic gold in Tokyo, I think the standout talent from the Tokyo Olympics. And when we sat down with Galal Yafai, it was very clear that I felt, and he felt as well, that there was no reason to have these 6- and 8-round fights. In his first fight, he went and won the WBC international title over 10 rounds at the O2 Arena. Now he comes to defend that title in just his second fight here at Madison Square Garden. Great opportunity for bringing young fighters through on this fantastic global platform with DAZN. His opponent in Miguel Cartagena, very tough fight, going to have big support in the arena as well. And Miguel, I'll start with you. Quite unique fighting a fighter who's just 1-0, but obviously a very good fighter and a big moment for your career at the weekend.
Yeah, very different approach as far as where I'm at in my career right now. But I'm super excited. I've had a really good camp. I'm just ready to get in there and rock and roll. I'm ready to show.
Obviously, he was a great amateur, but
yes,
as a pro, just the one fight. Looking to use your experience in the pro.
Here's my question. Why are UFC press conferences so lit and boxing press conferences are fucking bullshit? Like, what is it?
You've been walking around New York with a pulse rate of about 20 a week, but
sometimes these joints make me sick.
Moments you've dreamed of, obviously a tremendous fighting family with your brothers Khalid and Gamal as well, but a special moment for you and the family this weekend.
Yeah, definitely fighting at MSG.
It's like how they say, like people who do crack always chasing that first hit. Every time I cover a press conference, I'm always looking for somebody to smack somebody or some shit to pop off. I'm always like, chasing it. Like maybe it'll happen here. Maybe Austin Ammo Williams will flip out. On somebody, or, a table gets flipped.
Didn't lose many rounds. You took a few on the way as well, but great learning fight as well. And you can see the advantage of taking those fights over those easy 6- and 8-rounders.
I think I learned how small the gloves were, coming into the arena with a few people, but that's about it really. Hopefully I can learn a bit more on Saturday. But like I said, I'm here just to win, to look good, and then get back home.
Tony Harrison ran out into the crowd after Luis Arias a few weeks ago. That was pretty exciting.
For women's boxing, but this fight could stand alone as a main event. Two great talents, two unified champions for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. Elin, I'll start with you. I talk about Australia watching. Everyone in Sweden will be watching at the weekend as well. Massive fight, massive stage. You look in tremendous shape, ready to go at the weekend.
Yeah, I'm so ready. Thank you for this opportunity. It's an honor to be here in Madison Square Garden. It's the first time a Swedish boxer is here to get this opportunity. I'm so ready. I've been ready for so long time now.
That accent is something else.
Fight. Previously before we picked this fight up, it'd fallen through a couple of times, and both coming off tremendous wins, both all-action fighters. Everyone expecting a tremendous fight here, but been a long wait and ready to make it count. You ended up doing it at Madison Square Garden, so it was worth the wait.
Yes, of course. This is the best thing, 100%. So
I started some shit with
it's been a
Adrian
long
Browne
race,
once at a press
we are
conference.
ready. I'm gonna
Unintentionally,
put
of
on a great
course.
show on Saturday, for sure.
And just finally, both you and Cruz Dezurn, great fighters, heavy-handed as well. You know, you see a lot of the action in women's boxing at the lower weights. Two fighters that can really punch as well, that like to let their hands go. We expect a great fight here.
Yeah, you can expect a great fight. We're both strong, big girls, so yeah, you're gonna feel it in the air.
Thank you. Well, the HH Diva, welcome. The only person I know that trains with her sunglasses on. Do you actually do that? Or is that just for the gram?
Nah, this is my aesthetic since I stepped on the scene.
Well, you've been on the scene a while. You debuted against Clarissa Shields in the toughest fight she's ever had. I was there that night.
Really?
Yeah. It was. I believe it was on the cover.
What's up, Vato?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I was there, and you know, I remember thinking this is a tough debut. And now, as she becomes the undisputed champion, you sit on the verge of becoming the undisputed champion at Madison Square Garden at the weekend. A moment I'm sure you dreamed of as a young fighter. This opportunity.
Yes. When I stepped into the ring for that fight against Clarissa Shields, my coach told me one thing before going, and he told me one thing in the corner. You win the fight, you change your life. And I gave my best effort, and I still changed my life. So when I win this fight, it's already written. I'm going to change it for the better, and also the people around me. Elin is a great fighter. She works very hard, but she's not as hungry as I am.
When you talk about the development of women's boxing and how opportunities present itself, you're a great amateur as well. You know, you had great pedigree. You had to turn pro and fight Clarissa Shields in your debut.
Yes.
I mean, how much has this sport evolved? These opportunities for female fighters evolved now, where you sit ready to challenge for the undisputed world championship at Madison Square Garden. But back then, that was the only opportunity you had. Fight Clarissa Shields, or you may never get a chance. And that was in your opening fight.
Yeah, well, back then, when I started, women's boxing wasn't even in the Olympics. So to be on that stage and go pro against her, because 13 girls turned her down. So you could tell how I'm built, my character, my will, the things I want out of life. I stepped up to the plate because I knew that fight would set a standard not only for us, but for women's boxing ahead. And as you see, from then on, it's been amazing fights. And leading up to this fight with Katie and Amanda, the best versus the best.
And finally, as I said to Elin, both of you...
I ain't fighting AB no more. The fight has lost value. He lost to Mikey. He didn't do his part.
Always hold your feet, ready to engage, expect a great fight. And I know when you fight, you always look for the knockout, and I guess that's the aim. I know you want to win, but we expect fireworks from you two.
I honestly don't look for the knockout.
You should just say, because it sounded better.
Yeah, but listen to this. The difference between me and Elin, she's a soccer player turned boxer. I've been boxing over half of my life, so I ain't going to lose to no half-time boxer. And I'm definitely going to put on a show April 30th. Period.
Ooh. What you gonna say to that, Elin? Don't smile. You just got served.
I liked it. I wanted you to keep going.
Oh, we could pop up. Look, first of all, no.
No. That's good. That's good. The undisputed super middleweight world championship on the line this weekend. Now, a fight that I cannot wait for, a fight that has been years in the making, a fight that was supposed to take place February the 5th as main event in Las Vegas earlier this year. Liam Smith, the former WBO light middleweight champion of the world, against Jessie Vargas, the former two-division world champion. This is a fight that could headline on any US show, any UK show, anywhere around the world. And we were delighted to add it to this historic card. Liam, firstly with you, I know this is a fight you've wanted for a long, long time. I know what this place means to you and the family, and you know this better than anyone. Of course, Callum boxed here as well. Massive fight for you, a fight that you've wanted for a long time. You look in tremendous shape, ready to go.
Yeah, a fight I've wanted for a long time. Since you mentioned you promoted Jessie, I thought, oh yeah, I'll have that fight. And it maybe should have happened. And then Jessie fought Mikey Garcia, which I had no questions about. But that was a long time ago, and this fight should have happened since then. And it hasn't. It's fell through a couple of times, and it fell through February. That's how it's become a little bit personal, a little bit needle now. And we're here now. I said last time when Jessie pulls out, wrap yourself in cotton wool, because I'm not losing this Madison Square Garden date. And now he's here. I'm happy I've seen him here. I'm happy Jessie's found a little bit of needle back, found his voice a little bit also, and you know, we're here now, we're a couple of days away, and I'm massively excited for this.
Yeah, we've heard him say that he believes he'll knock you out at the weekend as well, and it's good to have that back and forward. But I know there's respect between the two of you, but you're looking to do a job on him at the weekend.
Yeah, I've openly said that. You know, I think, Ed, you've beat me enough now. I'll say what I feel, and I do feel I can be the first to stop Jessie, especially at 154. 154 is my division. He could still make 147, and that proves to me I'm the naturally bigger, stronger man in this weight division, and over a 12-round fight, I'll fully make that count.
Is that what we expect to see from Liam Smith? Aggression in this fight? We know you like to stand and fight on the inside particularly as well, but a lot of people talking about the styles of this fight and expect a brilliant, brilliant fight.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I knew it'd make for a good fight. I knew Jessie's easy to drag into a fight. He likes a fight himself. And I just think that's why it'll totally make for a good fight once it starts. I know Jessie's got fast hands, with him being a smaller, sharper man. But
I think Jessie going to get beat up.
And once it gels, it'll gel into a very, very good fight. And that's where I fully believe I take over.
People talk about this. Obviously, both of you want another shot at the world title. It's a tough road back for the losers. Do you believe that you end the career of Jessie Vargas at the weekend?
Yeah, I do, definitely. And I feel that, you know, Jessie's going into politics now. He's already got one foot out the door. And I'll give him his other foot. I'll give him his exit.
Hey. Ooh, that was hardcore.
Jesse, we know
I'm a
you're,
Republican.
You know,
don't talk trash about us.
Now, but we know you're also a hungry fighter, a tremendous fighter, a two-division
champion.
champion.
I'm a policy voter.
This young man,
how about that?
To my left, looking to end your career at the weekend. How hungry are you? We know that's a big part of your life now as well, but we know how important the sport of boxing is to you. We've seen you quite vocal for this fight. You believe you're going to knock Liam Smith out this weekend. It's a brilliant fight, and you look ready to go.
I'm definitely ready to go. I just can't wait. The only thing I'm ready for is for that bell to ring Saturday night and for me to let my hands go and just punch this guy down. You know, I'm looking forward to that moment. You know, I'm here to talk about boxing. This is my main career. This is my livelihood. This is what I've done since I was 8 years old. How can anyone question it? You know what I mean? I love what I do. I'm great at it. That's why I continue to stay on top in the top 10 in the world. And I will become world champion again. That is my plan, and that is what will happen. And it starts with this Saturday night where I knock out Liam Smith, as I promised before.
Yes.
I'm not here to shy away from anything. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it to his face. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to knock him out. I prepared for it. I have a great team, because they do have a great dream as well. But I have a great team. You know, my father's my coach, Jose Vargas. He knows me very well, you know, to perfection. Knows exactly what we need to correct. He's always been there since I was 8 years old, so he knows how. He's seen my improvements, my stages, and if there's anything that I'm lacking, he definitely reminds me. I have Nonito Nair, which is a new asset, right? He's, I mean, it's instrumental to have somebody that is like-minded, but at the same time is elevated, because he's eight-time world champion for a reason. He's one of the all-time greats, and he will always go down as one of the all-time greats. He has a big fight himself, so we were in camp together, right? For
he always has gloves
for this one, and I mean, it wasn't a long layoff. It was 2 years off, but at the same time, I was consistently training. I have had 3 training camps in one. We were supposed to fight in May. You remember that, May of 2021. And that didn't occur. Then again, we negotiated a fight for February 5th. Unfortunately, I tested positive for COVID. That didn't occur. Got postponed for April 30th. That's 3 training camps in
Dylan
one.
White had black gloves too, and got his ass pieced
up.
up.
If there was any ring rust, believe me, that's well brushed off. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I'm looking forward to showing you what I've been working on, showing you the strength that I have at 154. Showing when I first realized it, when we had made the before. I think we did 152 at that time, which was a catch weight. Forward to keeping that knockout winning streak intact in the 154-pound division. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just ready. And I do want to take the time to also, you know, give my respect and some prop to DAZN Matchroom Boxing for expanding and growing the brand so rapidly. You know, from 2017 and on, I was one of the first to sign on. And, you know, I saw a lot of potential. I did a thorough research on what
he giving his campaign speech now.
I felt that it was the new era. And you have shown this by not only
Vote Vargas
some of the biggest fights in the world, such as Canelo Alvarez. And
yes, we can.
I mean,
yes, we can.
Others. But you know, I definitely respect that, and you're supporting women's boxing, which they deserve all the respect. I mean, they give it all they got, and I'm sure Saturday night they're gonna impress the fans. And you know, I'm looking forward to being a part of it, to backing them up, showing that support, and giving the fans
Oh my
a
God,
good
Jessie, what the
show
fuck?
and, a good performance by me, and of course everyone here. I'm sure they're going to try and do the same.
I was going to say that. You trying to get more votes, Jessie?
I don't care about your vote, but tell you what, let me knock you out Saturday night and we'll go from there.
Who's the last person you knocked out?
You're going to be the first one, I'll tell you that much.
You know who Jessie reminds me
Jessie,
of?
one thing I will say about moving to 54, I know that you.
Saturday night. I mean, I'm ready.
My bad.
You know, physically, spiritually, mentally. I'm just, you know, I'm overly prepared, and I just can't wait. I'm just anxious to show the fans what I've been working on. It's going to be an exciting night for me, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have fun Saturday.
And Liam, if he tries to knock you out, we'll lend it
I will.
to being you will knock him out.
Jesse, you've never fought at 154. You've moved to 154 and done it the shitbag way and still fought at 152, and you fought Humberto Soto. If you're going to 154, go to 154. Don't say you're going to 154 and then fight at 152. That's a coward way. You haven't fought at 154 and you come to knock me out, you're in a world of trouble.
Listen,
Who's the last person you destroyed? You said you're going to destroy me. You've won 3 fights at your last 8 or 4.
You're going to feel the punch of Saturday night.
I hope so.
Well, your wish will come true.
Well, gentlemen, it is going to be a thrilling fight. Jessie Vargas against Liam Smith. Of course, the undisputed super middleweight world championship, Elin Cederroos against Cruz Dezurn. Amo Williams against Cordell Booker. Cartagena against Yafai. Sky Nicholson. Reshat Mati, Khalil Ko. An incredible undercard. And the reason being is, when you go to Madison Square Garden, you have to put on a great show. A historic main event, but one of the best undercards we have ever staged. Watch it all unfold live on DAZN from the Mecca of boxing on Saturday. We're going to split now for head-to-heads, and then we'll be back with the main event press conference shortly. Thank you.
Yeah, Jessie remind me of like the Sunday night Hispanic Women's Channel movie of the night serial killer villain actor. You know, he's got those psycho crazy eyes, man. You know, and then his face offs, like he just looked like he just gonna you know, just cut your heart out. But overall, I like this undercard. The main event press conference is next. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano are about to take the stage. Let's go to the face-offs.
First fight, but we cannot count Jessie out. If something
You know,
that
like them Sunday night Lifetime movies, like where he's the dreamy millionaire boyfriend, and then you find out he's been like killing bitches. Like he looked like the movie villain. Take the chicks on all these vacations and shit. Then they try to leave. He goes psycho crazy on him. In the movie, he seemed like he'd play the actor. He's got that look.
thing that we've always spoken about boxing, it's a very jealous career. It's a very jealous girlfriend. That's the kind of girlfriend that doesn't like to share its time, its space, nothing. Either you're a full-time fighter or you're not. And I understand it's been 2 years where Jessie has actually dabbled not only into politics, but he's also a great communicator. He does a great job at analyzing fights. He's worked with us many times. So, you know, that's what Liam is actually pointing at. It's like, you're not a full-time fighter. And we heard what Franchon said about half-time or part-time fighters.
Liam Smith, Jessie Vargas are going to come face-to-face in moments. Right there, you see Yafai, Miguel Cartagena on your screen. Those two going at it. And this is going to be Gal's first.
What the hell is this music? That shit better not get me copyrighted, man.
Amazing. I remember when I started doing this for a living, we would have never even mentioned a second fight for
They didn't turn that shit down.
But let's not forget,
Then see, look, watch his psycho eyes.
So it's becoming more normal than what we could have ever thought.
Yafai getting the stoppage over Bautista back at the O2 Arena. So that was for a title in his debut. He defends the title for the first time at Madison Square Garden in New York. And then
you know how you can always spot a fashion major in college? They dress like Cruz Dezurn. Like fashion majors be on some shit.
Franchon, Cruz Dezurn, they are going to go for the undisputed title at 168 pounds as they go face to face, and the sunnies are coming off for Franchon.
Her aesthetic. This has been Franchon's aesthetic since she walked into the scene. And I'm just repeating what she said. This is long time in the making. Franchon was one of those ladies that just kept on grinding in the amateurs, then decided to go pro. First pro fight
watch the
against
crazy
Carissa
eyes.
Shields with an outstanding amateur background, and then she even made part of the US team.
Well, there you see, we were talking about moments ago. Liam Smith and
Jesse Vargas had some nice paydays though.
Ready for their clash.
Remember, my man fought Pacquiao on Pro Circuit pay-per-view.
In the making for quite some time.
Top Rank's own exclusive event.
On a February 5th card, Jesse Vargas came down with COVID-19 and pushed back to here on Saturday night on DAZN, the co-feature leading up to Taylor and Serrano. And we're going to see Taylor and Serrano in a few moments, but this is the stare down that people have been waiting for. There is a genuine animosity between these two. There really is.
Oh my gosh, that was a long stare down. And this is
Careful.
a very
Careful, Liam.
fight.
You don't know what he gets to at night.
I can honestly say I'm looking forward to this fight because they both have earned
Cederroos is pretty good.
respective weight divisions. The only difference is this
Cruz Dezurn is more of a pressure fighter, power puncher. You can just look at her till she hits hard.
His history, his experience.
Like she really sit down on her punches.
Against a fighter like Liam, who's
She do eat a lot though. Look at the silver
The
fox.
main press conference happening in a few
Claudia
moments with Katie
Prejos.
Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Let's go back to this history, though, Claudia. We heard it a little bit on the dais. Start with Sky Nicholson coming up on Before the Bell that you can see starting at 4:45 Eastern on Saturday. The first Australian woman to fight at Madison Square Garden.
They need to hurry up.
Elin Cederroos said it up there in the press conference. She's going to be the first Swedish boxer in Madison Square Garden. And then on top of that, the history with Undisputed.
The main event press conference is next.
Spend some time here with Cederroos and Franchon, Cruz Dezurn, two women going at it, and you heard Eddie allude to it with Franchon. She had to start her pro debut against a fighter like Clarissa Shields. That's where we were in women's boxing only a handful of years ago, and now look where we are. Look what is on the precipice of happening on Saturday night.
Let me just help put this in perspective. About 10 years ago, Cecilia Brakas was in the main stage in women's boxing, yet she has yet to fight in her country of Norway. She's born in Colombia, but she was raised in Norway. It's still illegal for women to fight professionally in Norway. So this is still the state of boxing among women. So this is a huge step in women's history because we've been fighting this glass ceiling for so long. And to finally get a chance to come to the Mecca and not have one but two undisputed fights in order to get all the belts, all the hardware. This is huge. And like you said, Swedish women, Australian women, and they're fighting in places where Muhammad Ali, Manos de Piedra Duran, Tito Trinidad, and the list goes on and on and on. And now we have ladies being part of that long list of stars in boxing that are going to be covering the beautiful walls of this place.
The undisputed title at 168 pounds between Dezurn and Cederroos coming up, but it all leads to the main event on Saturday night on DAZN. Katie Taylor and Amanda.
Stevenson, my bad, I'm eating pretzels. Stevenson Valdez press conference is in 2 hours. 2.5 hours, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll be streaming that too.
The plan 100% is Amanda Serrano at Madison.
Hold on. We can't watch that. And I was taking a snack break. I was eating pretzels. My bad. But let me run this back for you, though. Since they're taking a little break, I'm eating pretzel sticks. If you were wondering, if you're just getting here, damn it. It's copyright. If you're wondering why we're not getting 3-minute rounds, blame Katie Taylor. That's her fault. Listen in.
Being very, very smart from either end. I think
They bring a piece of me with I was able to.
And you weren't so into that challenge. In London, somewhat out of the blue, she threw down the challenge of making this, 3-minute rounds. And you weren't so into that challenge. Could you explain why? Why did you not want to do that?
I really have no problem fighting 3-minute rounds. I could do 15 trees if they wanted, but I guess my concern was fighting 12 3-minute rounds and a 10 2-minute paycheck. I don't think that would have been very, very smart from either end. I think the couple of years back was because of the pay, so we shouldn't sell ourselves short in the biggest fight of our career. We can do 15 3-minute rounds if the money's right. I really have no issue at all doing 3-minute rounds. Yeah.
Are you okay with that response?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I thought this was the biggest payday. I mean, on paper, on contract is the biggest payday, and I thought it was. I mean, just I guess maybe the rematch.
Yeah, maybe we can definitely renegotiate after Saturday night.
I like this businesswoman, Katie. It doesn't get talked about enough.
This is the business. We're in the business. We're in the herb business, but it is business.
I think the WBC belt wouldn't have been on the line if it was a 12 3-minute round fight as well, and it would have made this fight less important. The undisputed title is on the line on Saturday night as well, and that to me is absolutely everything. Having all the belts on the line. Having the opportunity to bring all the belts home as well, that is absolutely huge. So
here's my issue. My bad. I finished my pretzels. They want equal pay, and talking about this is the biggest fight in women's boxing history, but yet and then you have Amanda Serrano saying that this is supposed to be the biggest purses in women's boxing. But yet they're saying, no, we don't want to fight 3 minutes. Like, this don't make no sense to me. And to me, it looks like a political thing, and a strategy from Katie Taylor's side, because she has been known to slow down later on in fights. I'm sorry, it's like a fight of this magnitude. This is supposed to be like the staple, okay, like I am woman, hear me roar type of shit. They're supposed to be fighting 3-minute rounds for this fight like this. So 10 2-minute rounds? Nah, I'm not trying to hear that shit. For a fight of this magnitude, and they're in the big room. You heard them. They're close to a sellout. You see what I'm saying? They're close to a sellout. 17,000 plus at least. As you can see, everyone's sitting down. They're about to start. Let's go over. We'll talk after the press conference.
This is key.
Lots of questions to be answered here on Saturday night, but when you talk about legacy, and we'll go back to this main event here, Taylor, Serrano, as far as legacy is concerned, what's at stake for each fighter quickly?
Everything. First of all, we're looking at two ladies that are basically carrying the standard for women's boxing. And at this point in time, we have two of the most successful, notorious ladies in the world of boxing in a place like Madison Square Garden. So here is, you got to put all your marbles right there on the table. And the truth of the matter is, for Serrano, she's been in different platforms. She's been in MMA, she's been in boxing. She's had lots of accolades, both amateur and pro. Katie, two-time Olympian. There's a lot of pedigree right there, amateur and pro. So for both, it's all or none. A loss today, it would be another blemish in Amanda's record. It would be the first for Katie, and that first always hurts.
Everybody's in place. It is time for the main press conference here for Taylor and Serrano. Without further ado, back to the dais we go with Matchroom Chairman Eddie Hearn.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody can take their seats and prepare yourself for the main event press conference this Saturday night, a historic night of boxing. Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano for the undisputed lightweight world championship here at the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, live and exclusive around the world on DAZN. Thank you to all of our partners that have been involved with this event, and our co-promoters Jake Paul and MVP will hear from shortly. But just to put some magnitude into this event, when we came to Madison Square Garden and Joel Fisher and the incredible team here with the dream of staging this unique, historic legacy event, they couldn't have been more supportive. In fact, we came into this arena and said maybe we should do it in a small arena. They said no, we said no, DAZN said no. We had to try and push the boundaries, as these two great female athletes had done for many, many years. I was nervous, to be honest with you. Jake popped up. I was a bit less nervous. But as we sit here with around 15,000 tickets already sold and heading towards a sellout on Saturday night, with nearly half of those travelling from the UK and Ireland, we are going to have an incredible atmosphere for an incredible moment. But to put this into context, these two incredible female athletes, which Jake will talk about Amanda shortly and the struggle that she's had to get herself into this position. But Katie Taylor is someone that is incredibly inspirational to me, to young females, to males, to everybody around the world, because she's continuously not allowed anything to get in the way of her dreams. In 2002, when she walked into Bray Boxing Club, before she walked in, she had to put a head guard on to pretend she was a boy. Girls boxing was banned in Ireland. And in her early amateur career, she was Kay Taylor. She had the head guard on. She had to pretend that she was a boy fighting other boys to get to this position. Fast forward an incredible amateur career, and she campaigned to the IOC to make sure that women's boxing had a place in the Olympics. She was laughed at, as she has been for a long portion of her career. She kept on banging the door down, and eventually women's boxing was installed into the Olympics. She went on and won gold. And I think the great thing about this fight and this weekend is that Madison Square Garden won't be full up because everyone feels it's nice to support women's boxing. It will be full up because it's a great fight. And that's what Katie only ever wanted, the ability to perform on stages like this because of her ability. She didn't want people to support women's boxing because it was a nice thing to do. She wanted people to support women's boxing because of their ability. And on Saturday night, you see a great fighter, regardless of male or female, one of the great fighters of our generation, in one of the great fights of our generation. And we talk about what this might do to inspire a next generation of young female athletes. And, with someone with like myself, with two daughters, I look at Katie Taylor in a world of Instagram and TikTok and say, I want you to have a dream like Katie Taylor. When someone tells you no and you believe in something so strongly, don't give up. Chase your dreams, break down the boundaries, overcome the barriers, work hard, and anything is possible. And on Saturday night, it'll be a very proud moment, but not just for young females, for all of us. All of us. This shows us that if you want something bad enough, anything is possible. And on Saturday, it'll be a very emotional time for a lot of people involved to see Katie Taylor walk out the mecca of boxing on the stage that she lives and breathes for. Anyway, that's enough emotion for me, just in case I just sort of get a little lump in the throat. We've got to bring in two very important people who helped make this possible. Firstly, Joel Fisher from Madison Square Garden. Joel, you and your team just, you sent... You guys sent a really nice email this week to myself and MVP and everybody just to say what a great journey this has been since we announced this fight. And there seems to be such goodwill in this event. You know what boxing's like. It's a terrible business. But this is bigger than boxing. This is an event where your organisation, the entertainment industry, the sports industry are all supporting this event. And this is I feel, one of the biggest moments for this incredible arena on Saturday.
It's been great, and to work with you guys have been tremendous, and to honestly get to know Amanda and Katie over the last number of months and this last week. Not only are they great boxers, and in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world, not female pound-for-pound boxers, the best pound-for-pound boxers, they're also great people, and it's just been a tremendous promotion and partnership with all of us. I'd like to make a few remarks and just say that, I want to welcome everybody here to the Garden and to the Hulu Theater. We're just 2 days away from one of the biggest fights in boxing history. For sure, the biggest fight ever in women's boxing. And it's fitting that it's taking place here at the Mecca of boxing, the Madison Square Garden. This will mark, as Eddie has said and we know, the first time women will headline a card in Madison Square Garden Arena, a night that is not just long overdue for MSG, but for the sport of boxing. As we just said, it's been an incredible promotion, and I can't thank Katie and Amanda, Nikisa, Jake, Eddie, Sean, Frank, all of your teams, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my team, Sal and Joanne, and the job that they've done. The support for this fight has been second to none. I've been at the Garden for many years, as a lot of you know. I've never seen the type of promotion and press and support for an event, and I've worked on thousands of events like I've seen for this fight. All of our divisions here
He's lying his ass off.
have gotten behind this fight. Our chairman's office, first time I went to Jim Dolan and gave him this idea, he was like, we got to do that. We're in. This is history. It's women should have their stage. We are in. So he's been incredibly supportive. Our entertainment division, our government affairs, our network, the Rockettes, the Knicks, the Rangers, they've all stepped up. The social media activity from MSG, from Matchroom, from MVP, from DAZN has just been nonstop and really engaging. I don't know if you've seen the clip that's been running, but there's been celebrity call-outs from Rosie Perez, Billie Jean King, Layla Ali, Christy Martin, Stephanie McMahon, Tracy Morgan, just to name a few. It's just been amazing. There's been billboards in Times Square. This fight is promoted on the top of taxi cabs all around the city. Tao, who the Garden owns, has made a special dessert in honor of this historic fight. The iconic Empire State Building is going to be lighting up in honor of the women, half in Irish colors and the other in Puerto Rican red, white and blue. The Brooklyn Borough president was here yesterday and presented Amanda with a citation and said he's going to light up the Brooklyn Borough Hall in her honor. The media coverage has just been so robust. Great and important articles have been written about the women. They've been on the morning show, on the Today Show. They've traveled, the media, all of you guys have traveled from Ireland and Puerto Rico to be here. I hear that we're expecting over 200 media tomorrow for this fight. That's unheard of. I've never seen something like this, and these women, these ladies, deserve it all. They're both champions, as I said, in every aspect of the world, both inside and out of the ring. And win, lose, or draw, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano will forever be etched in the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden, along the likes of Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, Roberto Duran, and many others. No pressure on you ladies at all, right? I really do want to thank Eddie and his great staff, as I said earlier, Franchon, Anthony, Lewis, Kevin, the rest of the staff, and Jake, Paul, and Nikisa have just been unbelievable. Their staff with the most valuable promotions has been into this the entire way through. They've been great to work with, and we thank them for everything they've done and everything you guys do for boxing overall. Tremendous. And of course, I can't forget DAZN, Joe Markowski, and the great folks from DAZN, who I know will put on a great live stream. As Eddie said, we are expecting a sellout. There are a few tickets left, but just to think of a sellout in the current state of women's boxing is just amazing in the main room. It's going to be an historic night, so I would really suggest fans get the last few remaining tickets. The talking is done. I'm done. The focus is now on Saturday night, and the best of luck to both Amanda and Katie.
Thank you, Joel. Great words, and thank you to your team as well, Larry, Sal, Joe, and everyone. Been incredible to work with you guys on this event. We go over to Joe Markowski from DAZN. Joe, I think when we made this fight, you were so excited. I think we have to be honest, we never felt it would be this big, and we're here, you guys expecting a huge viewership at the weekend, a major moment for the platform once again.
Yeah, and I have to give you and Matchroom credit for the investment and the focus you've made us put on women's boxing over the last 4 years since we got into business together here in the States. This fight, I think, transcends boxing, and very few boxing fights do that. The Canelo Alvarez's, the Anthony Joshua's, they transcend boxing. Occasionally, Jake Paul to your left, he transcends boxing for different reasons. But this fight is transcending boxing for a number of reasons. The ingredients in this fight are quite remarkable, and Joel's spoken to them eloquently there. The involvement of the pound-for-pound two best fighters in the world, the hosting at MSG, yourself and the efforts you make, the efforts of
We're hearing more from these mofos than we're going to hear from the actual boxers. Watch.
People are starting to realise that women, when they're given the platform, the marketing, the PR polish that their male counterparts get, the eyeballs come, and when the eyeballs come, people are entertained and amazed by what these athletes do. This is long overdue, as Joel said, and we're seeing across our sports globally a real growing interest in women's sport. We've seen it in soccer, we've seen it in tennis. We're now, thank goodness, seeing it in boxing. So, yeah, they deserve this opportunity, and it's a great opportunity for all of us to maximise on.
I've talked this week about the importance of women's boxing delivering, though. I know that a lot of broadcasters feel that they should support women's sport, and of course that's right, but it's very different, isn't it, when a big female fight like this starts delivering in terms of subscribers, huge viewership.
Come on, I'm not trying to hear from Twilight anymore.
And longevity in a
I want to hear from the fighters.
We need to see those numbers come through, and we're seeing it this week. We're seeing it translated through ticket sales. We'll see it through viewership and subscription, to a point where you will be asking us, when's the next big female fight? And that's the way to create longevity.
You're right to say the small room's not appropriate for this event. It's the appropriate venue for the press conference. You're right. When you give this kind of event the platform and the marketing, it attracts huge eyeballs. We are not in the business of doing the right thing and using our resources to do the right thing. It's not a PR or a CSR project. This event will grow our business, and we'll want to see more of them, male or female. It doesn't matter. We want to see more fights of this scale. The attendance of the media, the interest of the fans, every metric we suggest this is trending to be a huge fight, and we're very proud, frankly, to be broadcasting it globally.
Well, thank you as always for your support this week, and of course next week, huge Canelo Alvarez against Dimitri Bivol fight in Las Vegas. We turn our attention now to talk to the team of Amanda Serrano. A young man to my left who, picked up the mantle as our co-promoter in this event. Not just saying it because I'm about to introduce him, but it's been a pleasure to work with you, Jake. I know a lot of people felt that how would you approach this in your normal jovial way, but you've been incredibly professional. You've come with a great mindset with Nikisa to just work together with us, the Garden, with DAZN, to make this an event that people will remember for a long time now. Now we're getting to the fun part. We can be the cheerleaders at the weekend. And a couple of days away from, I guess, an event that, we all hoped would get to these kind of levels, but even fascinated us to see just how big this fight is on Saturday.
This feels like a, unification of the heavyweight division. This is massive, and just, wearing my promoter hat, I think if this fight happens again or one like it, we're going to have to get these ladies even more of a payday, because I've never seen this amount of media at any fight, I'm talking, 8 figures. This is what it feels like, and they deserve it. And I'm so excited for this fight, first and foremost, for that first bell to ring. These ladies are going to put on a show and change history here at Madison Square Garden. Honored to be a part of it. I want to thank Christy Martin and Layla Ali for really making this possible and paving the way for Amanda and Katie, and obviously for what Katie has done for the sport is just incredible, pushing, alongside of you to grow female boxing. I cannot wait, and Amanda Serrano is ready. When I first, met Amanda, 7-division world champion, getting paid $5,000, $10,000 for a fight. To think that we are here a year later is massive, and that's because of the supporters. That's because of the platform that we've built, and that you've built, and that Amanda's built, and that Katie's built to push this narrative forward. And it's the young ladies out there who are supporting these women. And I want to call on the women right now to be a part of Saturday night, to tune in, to watch, to buy the pay-per-view, to support these ladies, because that's what this fight needs. We need to prove that the business side of this can sustain, so that women's boxing can continue to get big paydays, continue to drive forward, and continue to be equal in all aspects of the sport. So if you're, a woman out there watching this, tune in Saturday night to support these ladies. They've worked their whole entire lives to sacrifice and dedicate themselves to this moment. So please, you're doing a good thing by tuning in Saturday night, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of this event.
Jake, I know now your involvement in boxing. You're desperate for Amanda to win on Saturday night. Just a quick word on the fight. You're fully confident that your charge will be victorious and become undisputed lightweight world champion?
More confident than you are.
Really? I don't think so.
I got a bet for you, Eddie.
I'm not having a tattoo.
I'll bet you all the jewelry that I'm wearing right now that Amanda wins the fight.
I was hoping to bet for a lot more than that.
Well, then let's put it on.
I mean, 10 grand's not a lot.
This is 500K.
We'll talk.
500K.
We can have a bet. Me and you can have a bet. I think we got a head off with Ariel, right?
Oh, I just proposed it.
Really? I want to see those
500K.
500K?
500K, dripping right now.
Okay, maybe we can talk about $1 million, but we'll have a chat.
Let's do $1 million.
Okay, we'll talk. I know about your bets. I know. Oh,
he's scared.
Down there.
I bet Amanda wins for $1 million.
Okay, we'll get that together. We'll get it together. Don't worry.
You're not shaking my hand.
Don't worry. We'll get it together. Actually, we're the underdogs in the fight, apparently, with the bookmakers. So
Come on.
We'll talk.
I'll meet the odds makers' odds too.
You don't need to. You're the favorite.
$1 million plus odds.
You're the favorite.
Shake his hand.
Regardless,
Shake
let's
his
do it.
hand.
Shake
his hand.
Let's go.
Oh no. He's scared. He just lost $1 million.
Anyway, we'll get that papered up because I'm not sure about you.
$1 million bet. Let's go.
Nikisa?
No pressure, Jake.
Nikisa, you look a bit more worried about papering that bet, but on a serious note, you want one as well? Okay, on a serious note, what a great event to be involved with.
Eddie's got that fast car. I don't think he's going to do it.
To you and your team.
He's going to back out at the last minute.
Sean Palmer and the like. Couple of days away. Big moment for MVP and Amanda Serrano.
Absolutely. We started this journey with you, Eddie, a little bit over 2 years ago when Jake made his debut on DAZN, where he was the co-main on a Thursday night. And to think a little bit over 2 years.
Now, he just straight movie villain vibes. Definitely a villain right there.
Is an honor, it's a privilege, and it's a trailblazing moment.
And I bet you he's highly skilled in hand-to-hand combat, karate and shit.
I had the privilege of being there when Ronda Rousey made her debut at the UFC, and she allowed for that sport, or her performance allowed for that sport to embrace women's MMA, and I feel that Amanda and Katie have that opportunity here. And I'm very confident that they're going to put on a show that the world is going to be talking about for...
Nah, he looked like he good with knives.
Event, and it will result in additional opportunities to do things like this for women's boxing.
Thank you for all your support on this fight. Before we go to the fighters, Ross Enemett, a couple of words from yours. Thought Jordan was coming up here, but a massive moment for you. You've worked tirelessly behind the scenes with Katie Taylor. Business as usual, I guess, from you guys. You're never a team to be outspoken. You always take care of business and handle it in the right way. And I know I don't want you to say it's just another fight, but I kind of get the feeling that it's a massive fight, but business as usual for Team Katie Taylor this Saturday.
It's business as usual. We've been here before. Katie thrives under the bright lights. We're not going to sit up here and talk about bets. We're coming to fight. It's a real fight, so we can sit up here and joke, but Katie's ready. I've never been more confident in her. Everybody says they had a great... She hasn't looked better. She's had phenomenal sparring, and she's ready to put on a show on Saturday.
I've seen that in the clips, particularly. When I look at all the work DAZN have done and the work our social media has done, just looks like something different. People talk about the last couple of fights. We know they weren't really fights that she was overly motivated for. I know she trains always to the top of her potential, but the eye of the tiger in this fight, this is the moments that Katie Taylor lives for.
Great athletes step up when it matters, and Katie's a great athlete. She's special, she's unique. She's never ducked a challenge. We have fought everybody. Persoon twice, Leonardatown, McCaskill. She goes after everybody. So as big as the event is, it is just another fight because we've been here before. Katie's going to go and show the world what she's all about on Saturday.
Great words. Amanda, welcome. You two have been incredible this week and in the whole preparation for the fight. Obviously, the media as well, you've embraced it, you've enjoyed it, you've had a great training camp. And on Saturday night, in front of huge support for yourself as well as Katie, just a moment in time for women's boxing, but obviously a moment in time for your career as well. And I'm sure you're ready to go 2 days out.
Definitely. I mean, it's been a long time since, it's finally happened. We're getting up our shine. Thanks to all of you guys. Madison Square Garden couldn't ask for a better place. So to make history once again, sitting here, I made history. I won my Golden Gloves here at the Hulu Theater, and I made history on DAZN with you guys, becoming a 7th Division World Champion. And I plan to do the same thing at the Big Garden. It's my first fight there, but I shine under pressure. I'm just excited to go out there. I train hard like I always have in every fight. You know, all my opponents, I never underestimate them. I know Katie Taylor is a true champion. She's undefeated and undisputed for a reason. But one of my goals is to become undisputed champion, and she has that. And I'm going up once again 2 divisions to face the best fighter and one of the best fighters in the world. But I'm ready. And then, yeah, I can't wait to Saturday night to prove that we're deserving of these opportunities, of this spotlight. Just everything all together. You know, it's been an amazing, long journey getting here to fight Katie Taylor. I mean, leading up to this fight, but I think timing is no better than right now. I mean, I just can't wait for Saturday night. I'm so looking forward to Sunday, being undisputed champion.
And just finally, Amanda, I know that, you know, this is groundbreaking. This is opening so many doors for female athletes, and it's so inspiring, but it comes down to the fight on Saturday night. That's what you've done your whole career. That's the only thing that matters now. How desperate are you to be victorious on Saturday night and take all these belts back to Brooklyn and Puerto Rico?
Definitely. I mean, it doesn't matter what we say. I mean, we're probably like the 2 nicest fighters. There's no bad talk between me and Katie Taylor, each other. Our accomplishments got us where we're at right now. We're making history together, and I couldn't be happier than to share that ring with Katie Taylor. But yeah, I mean, 13 years as a pro fighter, I've struggled. I've fought my way to this spot right now, and I want to go out there and just secure that victory. And you know, no matter what happens Saturday night, I think the real winners are the fans and women in general in the sport of women's boxing, because it's only going to grow from now on.
Katie, I know that you're always cool as a cucumber, and like Ross, it's just another fight, but has it even surprised you this week in the build-up to this fight and seeing everybody here today? You must be very proud. I know you do is win, but this is a moment that you have created, and Amanda's created as well, but I can't believe the size and magnitude of this event this Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am very, very proud of this event. This event definitely does feel different. Just seeing the amount of media today, looking at the amount of media that we actually had to do all week as well. I'm sick of talking about myself, but it's been an amazing week, and definitely very, very different to how I started boxing as a 9 or 10-year-old, where I actually had to pretend, like I said, to be a boy to actually get fights. Women's boxing wasn't even a sanctioned sport in Ireland. Now here we are many years later, headlining Madison Square Garden, the most iconic venue in boxing, making history as the biggest fight in female boxing history. This is just incredible, and this is all the sacrifice I've been worked at for sure.
When you go into a fight like this, an event like this, and you look at the sacrifices that you made, I remember when you came to the office, and I bought into your dream, but I always used to say to you, one day you'll headline Madison Square Garden. I didn't really believe it, but we got there. And did you believe it? I mean, all those years with you, I remember when you debuted in 6 rounds at Wembley in November 2016, I believe it was. And we put you as main event, and everyone laughed and said, what's going on, you know? Yeah. And I always just felt, you just got to watch. Just watch Katie Taylor and you'll be a believer. If you just felt that if you got the platform, if you got the opportunity to showcase your skills, nights like this would happen.
Absolutely, and seeing the fact that this is going to be a sellout on Saturday night, there is a great appetite out there for big female fights. This is very, very special because it is the best versus the best. It's champion versus champion, and this is just a great boxing match. This isn't just the best female boxing match in the world right now, but probably the best fight you can see right now, male or female. And on Saturday night, we're going to put on an absolute showcase for the sport.
Legacy aside, history aside, just win. That's the aim on Saturday night. It's what you've always done. You believe that when you wake up Sunday, these belts will still be in the hotel and you'll still be the undisputed lightweight world champion?
Yeah, I mean, I don't train to lose any fights, I train to win, and it's the same for me on Saturday night. I'm stepping in there confident that I'll be coming out victorious. But, you know, the best part about this fight, the best part about my whole legacy is just being able to inspire the next generation, and this fight on Saturday night is going to inspire a lot of young girls, and that to me is just the best part about this.
Well, thank you so much for everybody for coming out. We are going to have questions to the floor quickly before we pose for a head-to-head. There's a microphone coming around. Please don't talk till the microphone is presented to you. Raise your hands if you have a question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. It seems like a 50-50 fight here. Is there a rematch clause here? Can you maybe let us know? Maybe this could be a 3-fight trilogy going forward. I mean, it seems like a very well even fight. Can you shed a little light on that, please?
All the focus is on Saturday night. I think whenever there's a good fight, and if the numbers add up, you'll see the rematch. No immediate plans for that, but obviously we've seen this as a huge fight. Might be the biggest fight for them next. Might be the biggest fight. For
Why
them
not
the
just
one
say
after,
no? There's no
just the
rematch
focus on
clause.
Saturday night.
He didn't answer the question.
Raise your hands, please.
Cole Whiston from Boxing World Weekly. Eddie, my first question's for you. Now that we've reached fight week and you're sharing the stage on Saturday night with Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson, how happy are you with how this promotion is going? And it is definitely the most talked about event this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every time I talk about that fight, I give it promotion. But on a serious note, I told ESPN, I told Bob Arum publicly, Jake did as well, it is a massive mistake going on the same night. We were announced, we were on sale, and they still chose to go on the same night. And, you know, you only have to see the media attention here today. And Stevenson against Valdez is a great fight, but it's not Taylor Serrano. It's not selling 18,000 tickets. It's not going to be driving subscriptions and viewership around the world like it will. But it's a great fight. And, you know, I think sometimes there's media outlets here today that aren't supporting this fight for different reasons, but they're few and far between. This fight has all the recognition for, yes, being the biggest female fight of all time, but also a standalone fight in boxing. On the head perfectly. One of the best fights in boxing that can be made, regardless of male or female.
But I think it's important to add that DAZN has taken a leadership position here in ensuring that the two fights don't overlap with each other. So as a boxing fan, you're going to subscribe and watch on DAZN, and then if you want to watch the other fight, that's going to come on after the fact, right? So there's no overlap here, and it gives you the opportunity to ensure that you can watch both fights.
Yeah.
Guys over here. This is for Katie and Amanda. We've talked a ton about how important this is just for the sport of women's boxing. Do you feel like the fight itself, what we're expecting for Saturday, is getting lost in it? And what are you expecting from the fight itself on Saturday? Katie first.
What am I expecting from the fight?
Yeah, and is the fight itself getting lost in just the discussion of what else it could mean for the sport as a whole?
There's no lag. Not my bad, not on my end.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be, I think stylistically the fight is going to be a very, very exciting fight. I think the winner is going to have to show a lot of heart, a lot of grit, a lot of skill. And it's going to be a combination of all those things. And I just think you're going to see great boxing on Saturday night.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see great talent out there. You two of the best going at it. And so you're going to see his heart, glory, lots of punches. And you're going to just enjoy a great night of boxing. It's not just female boxing. Have a great night of boxing.
The other Jake Donovan, BoxingScene.com. I have a similar question for both of you. Amanda, when this fight didn't happen 2 years ago, how confident were you that it would eventually come back around and on your terms?
Well, you guys would not let us not have this fight, because every question after my fight or her fight was always, how about Serrano, how about Katie? And, you know, you guys would not let us not have it. But I was pretty confident the fight was going to happen, but not at this magnitude. You know, once Jake Paul put his name on it, it just flew off the roof, which is, I'm truly honored and blessed for that. And Katie, too. You know, we're making our biggest payday. We're at the mecca of boxing, so it's super exciting.
Thank you. And then Katie, similar for you, I know you were frustrated when it didn't happen 2 years ago. You still had some amazing fights since then, but do you appreciate just like the magnitude of like this fight happening now as opposed to, 2 years ago, right after the pandemic?
Yeah, it's definitely bigger now than it ever was before. And a couple of years ago, we were going to fight during the pandemic in Eddie Hearn's backyard, where there was no people were going to be there, an empty arena. An empty backyard, and so here we are in the most iconic venue in boxing. It's going to be an absolute sellout, so I'm very, very grateful right now that fight didn't happen a couple of years ago. But there was a time where I was thinking, gosh, this fight isn't going to happen, and it would have been an awful shame if it didn't happen, because it is the best versus the best, like I said, so I'm very, very grateful.
Okay, last question, and then we'll post head to head.
Hans Chemisto, BoxingInsider.com. Eddie, questions for you. If Katie was to pick up the win on Saturday, do you think that she should be considered the greatest female fighter of all time?
I think she should already be considered the greatest female fighter of all time, for many different reasons, actually. Because of the legacy that she created in terms of convincing the IOC to install women's boxing into the Olympics, from winning 5 world championships as an amateur, 6 European championships, Olympic gold in London, coming through, becoming world lightweight champion, undisputed lightweight champion, moving up and winning another world championship at 140 pounds. For me, she would always be the greatest female fighter of all time. But these are the kind of fights that secure that legacy and leave no doubts in people's minds. And I believe she'll be victorious on Saturday night in a brilliant fight, and I believe the legacy will roll on. Right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to break for a head-to-head here. Don't forget the weigh-in in here tomorrow at the Hulu Theatre. Going to be a huge crowd in here for the weigh-in, and don't forget to tune in live on DAZN on Saturday night. Jake, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Don't forget about the bet as well.
No problem.
And when Amanda wins, I'm giving your $1 million to her. So just want to put that out there.
Put Eddie in a tough spot. You think he's gonna take the bet? If Amanda wins, I mean, he shook on it, but something tells me he's not gonna take the bet. Let's watch the face-offs. So if you don't know, the main event is going to be over by time the basically this card is going to go to about 10:30 or so p.m. Eastern, no later than 10:45. The top rank on ESPN, headlined by Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez, is going to be starting at 10 p.m. So the main event is not going to be starting until maybe around closer to midnight or so, if not a little bit earlier. So basically, the main of you're going to be able to watch both cards comfortably. This card starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's almost a sellout at Madison Square Garden. 17,000+ tickets sold. Undisputed, of course. Amanda Serrano is the favorite to win. Katie Taylor is the one who declined 3-minute rounds, citing money. So it's going to be 10 2-minute rounds. And for what is being said is the biggest fight in women's boxing history, I feel that that's somewhat disrespectful, especially for what they're trying to accomplish regarding equal quality and bigger pay. Me personally, I feel that Katie Taylor is concerned about fighting 3-minute rounds, especially 10 3-minute rounds, when she has a history of slowing down later in fights due to her punch style or her fight style. But hey, can't bitch about it now. Katie Taylor does have the better resume. Despite Amanda Serrano being a 7-time world champion, fought as low as 115 pounds and as high as 140. She's dealt with some allegations herself in the past due to her trainer, who has a really bad attitude and a lot of people don't like. You haven't seen him much during fight week. They've been taking the focus off of him, and I think that's a good thing. Also, a few years back, about 4 years or so, right? Katie Taylor had beat Cindy Serrano. Cindy Serrano the sister of Amanda, didn't put on a really good performance. Katie is a 2-division world champion, undisputed. She went up to 140 a few fights ago to win a 140-pound title. Dropped it, went back down to 135. She's now undisputed. right now, if I was to say, you know, if you were to really, really say who's probably the smaller fighter of the two, I'm talking about like looking at where they've been weighing in at and whatnot. I have to say that Amanda Serrano is the smaller. However, I can say Amanda Serrano, looking at her resume, which we're going to show right here real quick, has the higher knockout percentage. As you can see, Katie Taylor 20-0 with 6 KOs. Amanda Serrano 42 1-1 with 30 KOs. But if you look, her last fight was against Marion Gutierrez. Both Katie Taylor and Serrano fought Gutierrez. Just that Serrano beat her up bad. But if you really look at it, to be honest, even though she has all these accolades, Katie Taylor overall has the better resume. Natasha Jonas, who is now a 154-pound champion. They both share opponents in Marion Gutierrez. She fought Delphine Persoon twice. Christina, I always butcher her last name. I was at the Rose Volante fight. Eva Wallstrom, you can't count her because basically Katie Taylor's whole career, pro, you know, and amateur, she's been whooping her ass. Jessica McCaskill, that win has aged really well. McCaskill currently undisputed at 147 pounds. Vivian Obanov has a win over Natasha Jonas, and Vivian Obanov had beat up and killed her husband allegedly, or her boyfriend. She's sitting in prison somewhere right now. No bullshit. You know, but yeah, not being 3-minute rounds does kind of, you know, like grind my gears a little bit. Here is the card. The Chief Support, which is a real good fight that's going to get the blood going, blood pumping. You're going to have Jessie Vargas versus Liam Smith. Both fighters promising a knockout. That fight's been 2 years in the making. Franchon Dezurn taking on Elin Cederroos. That's also undisputed at 168 pounds. You have also Ammo Williams taking on Cordell Booker. 2 undefeated fighters. That, you know, has some value to it. And then, of course, you know, some prospects fights between Galal Yafai, Rashad Maddie, and Sky Nicholson. Overall, I would rate this card an A. Where does Clarissa Shields come into play? Nowhere, because Clarissa Shields currently right now is competing at 160 pounds. You know, that's where her and Savannah Marshall are going to meet. And these women right here are at 135 pounds. This is for 135 pounds. You know, there's no way these women would be able to meet. Katie Taylor, you know, she can't fight at 147. I can't imagine her weighing at 147. You know, they already say she built like He-Man. So her at 147, she'll be like out here, you know. But Clarissa Shields also has went on the record multiple times to say that 147, getting down that low, is just not healthy for her. So the lowest she can go is 154. And I can't see Katie Taylor ever touching 154. I can't see Amanda Serrano ever touching 154. It would be a light 154, like a 145 or some shit like that. You know, basically they're just too small. They're just too small. You know, even current 154-pound champion Natasha Jonas, she's too small for 154, but it's women's boxing. You see what I'm saying? They can maneuver around like that. Now, Clarissa Shields can't do 147. 154, that's it. Like, that's it. She said it multiple times. You know, 147 is just way too low. You know, if Cecilia Brackus would have beaten Jessica McCaskill, then Brackus, you know, should have had moved up to fight Clarissa Shields possibly at 147 and 154, because what are y'all talking about? Who's saying Katie Taylor? How are they saying Katie Taylor's the best of all time? Well, you know, that's a promoter and her team. So, you know, of course they're going to say that. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to actually be back in less than 2 hours for the Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez press conference. This press conference has been, what, an hour and a half, 90 minutes. It's been a long press conference. So remember, we're going to be here on Fight Night covering 3 of these fights, unless Austin Ammo Williams, Cordell Booker, depending on what happened with that. But for the most part, we're going to be covering the Dezurn Cederroos, Taylor Serrano, and Vargas versus Liam Smith. And then tomorrow, we're going to be here at the same time at 1 p.m. Eastern for the weigh-in as well. So take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I am T-Street Controversy, the Fight V360.